So I'll go ahead with def a underscore. Here I'll go ahead with add function. Now add function should take any number of arguments. So here I'll just say star r. Here I'll say total equal to 0, and I will say for, or what I'll say, I'll unpack the tuple for values or for numbers in args. Total plus equal to value. Total plus equal to nums. Return return total. That's it. Print, add, go ahead with any number of values. 1, 2, 3. You'll see addition is 6. And if I pass 10 and 20, I'm getting 30. If I pass one argument, this will also work. 100. And if I pass no arguments, this will also work. 0, because total is 0. Correct? So it works with any number of arguments. Nice and easy. Next, there is again a small thing that you need to understand. As I have made a note over here that star can create a tuple in function definition. Must be used in function definition, not in the call. Because if you use it in the call, things will change. Tuple can hold any number of, I have written unnamed arguments. I never wrote named arguments, right? If you pass named arguments, it will be a syntax error. Because named arguments will require two things, key and a value. It has to be there inside a dictionary. Because key also has to be stored and value also has to be stored. So it has to be inside a dictionary. So here I'll just copy paste it. And here I'll just copy paste the same code. And here I will try to pass names here. Names is x equal to, y equal to, and z equal to. Okay? Or I will say what? Value 1 is equal to, value 2 is equal. Here I'll say variable is equal. So now if I run the same example, what it says, add got an unexpected keyword argument. How can you pass a keyword argument? And what is this x? Because this has to go inside a dictionary. So I'll have to take it out and let me put 2 stars. If I put 2 stars, check the data type here. Print args. Is it a dictionary? It's a dictionary, right? You can see x colon, y colon, z colon. So when you create 2 stars, it is to hold keyword arguments. So I'll just make a note here. Note, use star star. Okay, which will create a dictionary which can hold any number of named arguments or word arguments. So convention क्या है? For a tuple, they say args, and for a dictionary, they say keyword args like this. This is the convention that people follow. Right? So either पे, how will I unpack the dictionary? For loop dot items. So here I want to return the addition rather than just displaying this. Here it will be keyword dot items. This will return key will go, variable name will go into var and value will go into value. So total equal to 0, and here it will be total plus equal to value. Return total. That's it. Done. Are you getting it nice?
You can directly pass as a dictionary to this function, right? Directly.
This itself is a dictionary.
I wanted to pass a variable as a dictionary directly.
That also you can pass. You'll have to put 2 stars. But you'll have to unpack the dictionary.
While calling, can I directly give the dictionary to it, or I need to unpack every time? Because it's unpacking itself within this function, right?
Yes.
So while just calling the function, I'll just put a dictionary where it's total the variable of the dictionary, right?
Yes.
So what if I don't mention x is equal to 1, y is equal to h, if I instead of that, I also want to,
Then this will not work. It should, it will go into tuple.
keyword has to be h.
Ah,
Is
now you'll have to use both. Suppose if you want a mix of both, then you'll have to have a tuple as well as dictionary both.
2 arguments.
It will take 2 arguments. See, let us modify it. That is the reason separately I'm showing it. Now you have a dictionary. Same example I will do. I will try to write something like this. I'm only passing 10, 20, 30. And see, observe, this should go inside a tuple, but there is no tuple. So obviously this gives you an error. See, take 0 positional argument, and how can you give 3 arguments? So this will never work. Only keyword arguments will work because you have created. Now what I will do is I'll just modify the same and I want a mix of both. So if you want mix of both, like I want x and y, or I just let this be 1 and 2, and this is mix of both. Mix of both unnamed and sync unnamed and keyword arguments. This is only keyword arguments. This is only keyword arguments or only unnamed arguments. Empty. Unnamed. I have mix of both. So यहाँ पे what you'll have to do? First you'll have to create a tuple star args. Correct? And tuple unpacking you do for value in args total plus equal to value. And then unpack the dictionary, add it into total and return the total. Now it works for all. This is much better because now this can handle unnamed as well as named. So here there is a catch, a very important catch. What is this? If I don't write this, and suppose if I change the order like this, star args, run this and it says invalid syntax. It says invalid syntax. So always remember first tuple and then dictionary. Because what is the point that we made? First unnamed arguments and then named arguments or keyword arguments. So that order is important. So इसीलिए first it should be tuple and then it should be dictionary. You can write any names for references, that is okay. But then it should always be tuple first and then. Here this is the invalid syntax. So I'll make a note here. Note order is important. Order is first tuple and only then dictionary.
Can you do a small exercise for calling the external dictionary or list for cog and args?
What we need to do?
Because I have a predefined list
Hmm.
and dictionary, right? And I need to use it within the function.
This is a predefined. Okay, you want to unpack the list. Now that will same example. We'll see. So coming back to your thing, how to unpack. As we discussed that if you put a star, it becomes a tuple, but not necessary every time. Not necessary every time. When you are doing star in a function call, then things are different. If you put star here, see, I'll say def, um, and this function takes 3 arguments, x, y, z. Okay. And I'll just say print x, y, z. And what I want is, I have a list here. Observe the thing, 100, 200, and 300. There are 3 values inside this list. So now, can I call function like this? Function, and can I pass list 1? Obviously, it will not work, because here what you are doing, you are passing only one collection. But what about y and z? Y and z is not having any default values. So obviously this will give you syntax error. How can you pass 2 arguments when, what about y and z? So in this case, all you can do is you can put a star. Now when you put a star, actually what is happening is you are unpacking the list. So initially, how this was working? This was working like this, right? 100, 200, and 300. This was your list, but the meaning of star in the function call is take the square bracket out. If you take the square bracket out, now you have the XYZ. There are 3 elements inside list. So now you run this. Is it working? And observe, you have actually unpacked your list. So you can unpack the list. You can unpack the tuple. You can unpack. This is called as list unpacking. List unpacking will happen if you use star in function call. And if you use star in function definition, it will create a tuple.
But in function, the argument, we have given only 3.
And if you have more, then you have to have default arguments in function call, a definition. Else it will obviously give you syntax. So copy, paste, and you see, I'm putting it on a tuple, by the way. I'll say tuple 1, and I'll say star on tuple 1. This is tuple unpacking. Here I am using set. Oh, tuple ke liye kya hai? I forgot. Have to have. And then set ke liye we use curly braces. And set. Right? So here it will be set 1. Set में order चला गया, but then set के ऊपर star डालो, tuple के ऊपर डालो या list के ऊपर डालो to take out that thing out. Yeah.
For example, my list 1 has not 3 but 10 values.
So in that case, you have to have default values.
By
Or you'll have to have a tuple here. See, if you have a tuple now, your problem is solved. Your function should take variable number of arguments. Right now, your function, you have written it in such a way that it is expecting 3 arguments. So here you काम करो ना, इसको tuple कर दो, तो it will work with any number of arguments. Just copy this, change this to star. I'll comment it. And I'll just say star args. And just say args. Now you can pass. This will work. For loop लगा के unpack it. Unpacking. No? How you thought about unpacking it with?
I have a list of n number, right? So I need to call the list, not defining how many arguments I wanted to, right? I just wanted to call and use it within the function. The external in the function. Same for a dictionary.
What do you want me to do? I will create a dictionary.
Just create a dictionary and this can
Pairs equal to section 10 and Virat colon 18.
With the function of walk, I need to utilize the dictionary within that function.
Okay, okay. You are saying you have to utilize dictionary within function, right? You want to use, you just pass it as a dictionary. What is this? Function, opening brace, closing brace, and just say ref, right? Print, ref. You can pass print. What is that function? Opening brace, and here you can say players. This becomes a dictionary.
But I need to use as a quag, not double star wala.
Where you do you want to unpack this?
I need to create a function to utilize anything. मेरे को just उसका एक use case देखना है कि how can don't really have to mention जैसे हम उसको argument देते हैं ना, we don't want to give the argument every time. So I need to use the quag wala and utilize within the function.
So you are saying you should be able to pass any number of.
हाँ हाँ हाँ. जब call कर रहे हैं ना, तब I should just use the player. Rest of the things function के अंदर ही होना चाहिए.
इधर पे वेरिएबल चाहिए कि इधर पे like do you want multiple arguments to be passed here?
I have a dictionary here, right?
Hmm.
Create a function.
Hmm.
हमारे पास. So I need to utilize. कर सकते हैं आप जैसे.
हाँ. External का समझ नहीं आ रहा. इधर I'll just modify this or you can modify this.
मैं बताता हूँ.
Technically, like the
Because you are passing a dictionary. Exactly.
ये वाली जो कुछ भी information है.
हाँ.
I need to utilize. कुछ भी function एक निकालो. I need to utilize और इसका utilization यहाँ पे कैसे होगा?
Okay. So you are saying how to use it.
हाँ.
Dot keys, dot values, dot items.
जब मैं कॉल करूँगा ना,
हाँ.
for example, I have a ABC function.
D pass करना है आपको.
So I just wanted to pass a T.
Okay.
हाँ, इसका एक example.
Okay. I understood. Thank you.
Same for a list.
So here only you are saying I want to unpack it. Now, so here you can say what ref. Same thing what we did on dictionaries. So ref dot items. This will return a list of key value pairs. Correct. Dot values. यहाँ पे for loop लगा के you can use it ना. Yeah. If I say only dot keys, this will return only keys. See. और keys को कैसे unpack करेंगे? For loop लगा के. So for keys in ref dot keys, print keys. That's it. तो ये मेरे को keys आ गए इसके अंदर. अगर सिर्फ values चाहिए तो same what we discussed on dictionary. Just a dictionary. For loop लगा के सिर्फ values चाहिए आपको. Just say
Every
values.
time I need to use a for loop for unpacking.
Not for loop. Dictionary को use करने के लिए how you unpack a dictionary. Dictionary use करने के लिए there is no subscript ना. Index एक ही value चाहिए तो you put into bracket value डाल दो. See, just a minute. I'll show you all the ways. Values. This is just a minute. What did I do? Ref dot values. Correct. And in case if you want both list of tuples, then go for player, comma jersey. Same example है वो कल का. Jersey in ref dot player and jersey. That's it. तो दोनों unpack होता है. और in case this is not the easy way, you want to unpack ref of इसके ऊपर I want only सचिन. तो ये सचिन का जर्सी नंबर आएगा 10. ऐसे भी unpack कर सकते हो आप. Either you can unpack it like this, put the key, you will get the corresponding value. Because finally you want to access values. So ref of Sachin or ref of Virat डालोगे तो you'll get values. So either you can use it like this, या फिर you can say dot get. और एक दूसरा हमने we discussed dictionaries. This is what ref dot get. ऐसे भी you can say get. क्या कर सकते हैं हम लोग? Get Virat. That will return the jersey number of Virat. Indentation error, syntax error. We are getting the jersey number. Either you can use get, or you can use subscript, or you can use a for loop. Once again, print dir of dict. और कुछ method है क्या इसके अंदर? Clear है, copy है. There is only get, and you have got items, you have got keys, you have got values. बाकी कुछ नहीं है. Update is to add one dictionary. If you want to access values from dictionary, either you will have to use get or you'll have to use subscript, but with subscript you'll have to pass only key. You need two ways to access it. Best way for loop.
एक one question can अभी यहाँ पे हाँ यहाँ पे so players के अंदर we have two arguments, right? Sachin and Virat.
हाँ.
But function में we have defined only one ref.
हाँ. This is just a reference which can hold any data type. You can pass what is dictionary? It's an object. You're passing only one object.
Sachin and Virat is one.
Whole thing is one object. What is list? List is a single object.
This is correlation.
Question.
Correlation.
Now my players dictionary is static. Right. So if I'm doing a function call with star, so it can accept in case of list or any other can like do the unpacking in the function call itself.
Key in the ref.
So now if I go for a dynamic dictionary and try to unpack it that way,
That can also work. That I'll have to try it, but I'll show you. That is a very typical use case. Code becomes difficult to read. This is the best way in which you can, pass the dictionary and unpack it. But why there is no such use case normally that, but you can 2 stars in the. That I'll just.
Open declare.
Key in the ref.
रेफरन्स फंक्शन नाहीये ते यूज केले होते ते आर्ग्युमेंट आहे आर्ग्युमेंट यूज केले
Players is equal to Sachin.
फंक्शनच्या आतमध्ये आर्ग्युमेंट यूज केले का त्याला आर्ग्युमेंट दिलेले आणि ते आर्ग्युमेंट यूज करतोय आपण जे काय तुम्ही
Players लिहिलं प्लेयरच्या जागेवर
तू त्या रेफच्या ऐवजी ना तू प्लेयर जर लिहिलास तर खाली यूज करताना तुला प्लेयर्स यूज करायला
आपण ते डायनॅमिक असतं
डायनॅमिक येते ना
म्हणून ref use.
ठीक आहे ना त्या
Function
प्लेअरला
मध्ये ref
हा
म्हणतात.
प्लेअरलाच
Ref
रेफ
म्हणतात.
म्हटलंय आणि त्या रेफ मधल्या की व्हॅल्यूज
ते असं कळत नाही ना आम्हाला जॉग्राफर पुढे काही म्हणतो आम्ही प्लेअरच शोधतो प्लेअर गेले कुठे
कोणावर आहे
म्हणलं प्लेअर गेले कुठे
प्लेअर गेले वागुलीला जीनियस प्लेअर्स
तसं याचा उपयोगच नाही बघ ना यांनी विदाउट स्टारचा वापरला तिथे रेफ
रिअल लाईफ वेगळीच पण आहे रिअल लाईफ वेगळीच असला
त्यात तशी फंक्शन समजून घेतो
12 नंतर फंक्शन उडते माझे सगळे मधीच जाणं तयार नाही काय करणार
Practice करावं लागतं.
diluted myself तू डेव्हलप आहे तो विषय वेगळा
Ready-made code.
बघा ना
तेच ना ते
डबल स्टार सिंगल
डबल
स्टार
स्टार सिंगल स्टार काही ठिकाणी होतं
म्हणजे तसं म्हटलं
Inbuilt functions and
Inbuilt.
user
हा.
defined.
स्टार डेफ फंक्शन ref. ओके रेफ नावाचं फंक्शन आपण डिफाइन करतो.
बरोबर.
तर रेफच्या अंडर काय काय येतं हे सगळं. रेफचं नाव काय? What is ref element? त्याचं नाव आहे पण त्याचा होतं काय ऍक्शन्स काय आपला
कमेंट के लिए एस लगाता है
कसं
do.
रेंज के लिए हाँ मतलब मल्टी लाइन सिंगल लाइन के लिए
तीच त्याची पहिली
काय झालं पाहिजे मित्रांनो
ये अपडेटेड वन कॅरेक्टर अपडेट
कोणी आलं त्याच्या
अरे ते राजू विचारायचं बॅच सगळं
की तुला
रेफला आपण ऍज अ फंक्शन यूज करतो काय ते असं यूज करतो.
ते त्यांना जिंकायचं म्हणून त्यांनी बोलले पहिली त्यांना जिंकायचं म्हणून बोलले पहिली करणार ते.
keys ref dot key bring key.
I don't. सुबह he had helped me.
इधर रेंज नहीं आता
हाँ इधर कभी कभी आता है and sometimes it's like आता है नहीं आता है ऐसे. ऐसे करते करते जहाँ जहाँ ऐसे ढूंढते 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 I went somewhere and then I saw how to come back to the training.
It's an extension of the journey.
My question was to unpack, say, and if the players had a variable number of, like dictionary was not static but variable, dynamic. So how to unpack it in the function call itself?
Just a minute. You want to unpack your dictionary in the function call. We will go for that example first. And then what you are saying is, I want to have variable number of dictionaries.
Ref is our function's name. And if it's-
Yes, it can accept, say for example, for right now, is Sachin 10, Virat 18, right? This is a static dictionary.
You want to have variable number of dictionaries. Yes.
Even if the same dictionary has the,
मैं जो भेजा
as you mentioned, right, in the previous example, if it has 3 items, if we give more than 3 items, it will fail.
So here I created a tuple. You are saying here
Correct.
we'll create a dictionary.
Yeah, so if list changes to dictionary, how to handle that?
This changes to dictionary. Okay, I got it. That is what we'll try. Just give me a minute. I'll just copy this. Paste it here. This should be dictionary then. This cannot be a tuple. This has to be a dictionary.
यहाँ पे नेम है लिखा हुआ
You are unpacking dictionary, na? It has to go into a dictionary.
हाँ
The input is dictionary,
So
so
the output also has to be. Got it, na? So it so here cannot be tuple and यहाँ पे आएगा क्या? यहाँ पे I'll say like this. एक dictionary करो और dictionary को unpack. Is this what you are asking?
The dictionary should not have static elements.
तो ऐसे
It will work.
It will work.
हाँ, it will. So dictionary I'll create with stack. I'll just
तरह नहीं भी आ सकता है
कैसे करेंगे dictionary? Any dictionary you can create. DNS equal to
You can create 2 dictionaries and pass it to the same function and see the output with very different number
server
of
1.
key values.
IP is 192.10 dot, and I will say DNS1 and DNS2. This is what you are saying, no? DNS1 and DNS2. This laptop 1. Variable number of dictionaries. And here, for this function, I'll have to create keyword answer. Keyword. Unpacking your DNS one and
While calling,
yes. नहीं तो क्या होगा? How will you unpack the dictionary? This is taking a dictionary, na? Sir, is what you are asking is this.
Yeah. If I do DNS2 then
This should also work. क्योंकि this ये dictionary है आपका. Dictionary unpack हो रहा है.
ये 2 4
now it is giving me what? Further unpacking on this output type.
इधर पे आएगा. Dot values dot items. और ये कैसे होगा? देख. But ये normally ऐसे आता नहीं है. It's normally we don't pack the dictionary. ऐसे. Share.
I'll just
You will paste it on chat window.
Okay.
नहीं वो वाला ले वो लेने की जरूरत है वो बच्चे के अलाउड है तो मैंने दिया ना सिर्फ एक के बाद स्पेस
Yeah, it will come. I copy pasted your code only.
not working at
Kernel restart and clear output and do it again. Let me check. Code has to work. There's no problem with the code.
Same is working.
Process finished. Selection as a matrix is callable. कहाँ पे आप कर रहे हो? फाइल का नाम क्या है? टेस्टिंग। तो रन ये हो रहा है।
अभी इसमें जब यूज वर्क्स राइट, प्रीवियस वाले एग्जांपल में रेफ यूज किया था, इक्वल टू 2 थे, विराट और सचिन था, उसमें रेफ यूज किया था।
काम किया उसने।
Oh, I got that.
डबल स्टार यूज किया राइट।
I am doing this from last
List.
I'll just change the name of the file from testing to any other thing because testing is a module. Testing is a module in Python.
Double star.
Anyways,
It's a module, that is why it is not.
it's a built-in module. And what he has done is he has written the name of the file as testing. So you should never use the name of your .py file. No, not testing anything which is having. I cannot say JSON or I cannot say XML because JSON is a built-in module. XML is a built-in module. If you give the name of the .py file as a built-in module, then it won't work.
What if even we use underscore or anything
then it
else
will
that
work.
would work
That would work.
एक बार स्क्रॉल करोगे क्या?
with underscore?
So ये this is क्या? प्लेयर्स में 3 प्लेयर्स 4 प्लेयर्स है, उसके पुल अप करोगे,
Rename as a sky.
another example which is shown ref वाला, let's go. Still 40 यहाँ पे same dictionary है but only 2 players है, but still we have used ref. यहाँ पे हमने double star use नहीं किया है, but still I can use
batting
dictionary.
Yes.
I am not using double star. Jupyter ला चालतंय.
Variable number of dictionaries.
Working on
A variable number of arrays.
single dictionary, we can access it without using star.
And if you are passing more than one dictionary, like I may have players and new players. अब ये नहीं चलेगा. If I have my players में, I will put Sehwag and any other thing. Like क्या है? Okay.
Yes. Tell me.
अभी if you pass my players also, that won't work. इधर पे players भी चाहिए and my players भी चाहिए. Comma my players. So how many arguments you are passing? 2 arguments. तो उधर पे डिक्शनरी में तो
Validation.
I can put star here and यहाँ पे star star और ये नाम है.
नहीं अभी अलग
तर मग कशी झाली?
प्लीज कॉन्सेंट्रेट. थोड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट एग्जांपल है.
हाँ इम्पोर्टेंट.
इम्पोर्टेंट बहुत सारा बात कर रहे हो आप एंड इसीलिए आई एम सेइंग दैट सो दैट आई कैन कैरी अटेंशन. सो व्हाट इज डिफरेंस बिटवीन fine. Unpacking what you are saying is you can use a subscript, you can use a form. But why will you unpack with a star in the function call? Where will you use such things? So it becomes very tricky. I'll just, for this example, अभी देखो, here, how can you pass 2 arguments? तो यहाँ पे क्या करना पड़ेगा? इधर पे double star करना पड़ेगा. Got it, no? तो अब ये, it takes what? Just a minute. My players, oh, either what I have done, the error is players and my players. Zero, how zero it is there? Restart, कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है तो restart करके check करो. And this, still it is giving players and my players.
Players dot my player.
It is a dictionary, and dictionary को unpack कौन करेगा? You'll have to unpack it, ना? It goes into a dictionary. This also is a dictionary. It should go into a dictionary. Now it is working. Correct? I'll come back to one more example. ये वाला जो add हमने किया है, I'll just go ahead with the same example, and I'll keep it very simple. Copy this, and paste it. and this is working fine. But what I'm doing is I'm calling it with another function like this. Function which takes variable number of arguments like this. And from this function, I'm generating a call to add like this. And whatever output I'm getting, same output I'm expecting it with this particular function with by passing 1, 2, 3. But you won't get it. See what it says? Unsupported operand plus equal to with integer and tuple. So it is saying this has become an integer. Of course, this is an integer, but plus equal to nums is becoming a tuple.
How come?
That is what. Either, please concentrate. Add 1, 2, 3. So here, this is a tuple in the first call. This is not, sorry. Here, it was becoming a tuple like this. And you said 1, 2, 3. You informed the function definition that, boss, I'm not passing 3 arguments. I'm dealing with a single option. This is what you have done. And then with for loop, what you did? With for loop, you took parenthesis out. So it became 1, 2, 3 like this. And then nums was what? Int. The data type was nums was int. The data type of args is tuple. Correct? Agreed? Yes. This was for the first line. And now what is happening in the second line? In the second line, when you say function 1, 2, 3, you are collecting it into a tuple. You said that, this is a tuple 1, 2, 3. And when you are passing, what you are passing is a tuple 1, 2, 3. And this 1, 2, 3 is going inside a tuple. So it became a tuple of tuples. And because it became a tuple of tuples, for loop is taking only one bracket out. And because for loop is taking only one bracket out, total plus equal to what is the data type of nums? Tuple. So वो बोल रहा है कि boss, how can you, plus equal to, you can use it on an integer and a tuple. So now what is the solution? You know the solution, right? Put one more to unpack the second bracket because this bracket has to be taken out. How do I take that bracket out? For val in nums, because the data type of nums is tuple. Total plus equal to nums. And now it is working. See, it is not giving, now int is not iterable. This will never work now. Now, how can you pass integers? Integers, then it's like you got it now. So this will not work now, but this is going to work. Just a minute. What did I do? Just a minute. Total plus equal to val, not nums. See, and I'll have to put it into print because you are returning. From here only you can return or just put it into print. Write print here. Run this. 6 is coming fine. And if you are trying to call add, this will not work now. Int is not iterable. So what is the thing? I don't want to change add. This example is clear now why I put 2 for loops. Now I don't want to change add because add should work with variable number of arguments and function should also work with variable number of arguments. I want both to work. So either way, what is the solution? I don't want to, pass bracket. Then it will be a single bracket here and one for loop is more than sufficient. So if you, in fact, you want this to work independently, right? So don't put a nested for loop. What you can do, only one for loop is okay. So that you shouldn't pass a tuple of tuples, only one tuple. So here it should be star args. Now what you are doing, you are taking bracket out. If you take the bracket out, then this becomes a single thing. And then single, you are unpacking it. Done. What happened? Just a minute. Val का कुछ problem. Total plus equal to
Valuation.
Abhi both are working, na? Add as well as function. So this point is important. This is your tuple unpacking is happening here. Tuple unpacking happens in function Okay, so that bracket goes out and this for loop is again taking. This is your tuple again. You are creating a tuple here. You create a tuple by putting star inside. So now you unpacked it and you packed it again and you unpacked it. थोड़ा complicated हो सकता है because I'm saying so many things. First, I'll again repeat. This is your tuple. How you told it? By putting a star. The data type of args is tuple. Now, when you put star here, you are unpacking collection because you are doing it in the function call. Because you unpacked it, now it has become 3 arguments of type int because it is in the function call. Now, again in the definition, you'll have to say these are not 3 arguments, this is a single argument by creating a star. And after you create a star, you are unpacking it by using a for. Right? So this is about variable number of arguments. We'll see few more things related to them, and then we'll see some built-in functions to in APIs, which will return generators. Again, it is an alternative for comprehensions. You would say I'll go ahead with comprehension. It is a choice, by the way. You will say which one to use and when to use and where to use. It depends where you want to use and how you want to use it. But I'll show you different ways in which you can actually do it. Pythonic style is your comprehension. If you don't want comprehension, then you could have gone ahead with a built-in function. Performance you need to check.
Going to see yield.
We'll see that. Yield keyword is what? It is just an alternative. Just a minute. Here only I will show you so that we'll complete that thing. You can explore more about it. Where is this? Copy paste. Ye dekho, I'm copying it. Okay. And whatever output you are getting here, how you are using it? Print evens. Correct? This is going to print address. So on this generator, you are saying what? Print values in evens. Print values. Print values. And you are saying end equal to like this. Okay, great. This is how we created a generator. Now, ये जो पूरा logic है ना, ये पूरा logic you can put it into a function, and you can convert that function into a generator. So just see, ये जो comment कर रहा हूँ मैं, okay, and I will keep the name of the function as evens, and ये evens का, what I want is ये for loop है ना, you put it inside the function like this, paste it, और ये if condition है ना, after that this goes inside the function, give a colon and function, and what are you generating? Item. So here you don't say return item ऐसे अगर करोगे, I will show you the problem what will happen. If you say return item, then this is not a generator, this is a normal function. See, when you say return item, then first of all, this will not work on you. This will not work. How you put a for loop on a function which is returning a single value? This becomes a syntax error. How can you put a for loop on a constant? It's not an iterator which will return here. अगर collection रहता ना, तो collection को I can put a for loop. अभी ये collection तो है ही नहीं. Generator के ऊपर तो for loop will work. Now this is not a collection. So when you say return item, what you are returning a single value. So of course I cannot do it with for loop. So here what you'll have to do? You'll have to do it with a single function call. See here, I'll just copy and I'll say single function call is evens, print evens, opening brace, closing brace. And you see I'm getting 2. So no matter how many times I call this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you ever think I'll get any other value? No, right? 2 2 2 ही आएगा क्योंकि बॉस वो it will not go till 21. Range एक ही बार उधर से return होगा तो खत्म. Return is going to take your control. When you say return will directly take your control here. Next time also again stack pay. It will go on stack again. So you got it. Now, if this point is clear, now you see, instead of doing this, if I go ahead with, I'll just change this to yield, yield. और now you run, see, yield जैसे हमने yield use किया, keyword, it has converted this whole function into a generator. You see, you are getting an address, na? And अभी address के ऊपर हम लोग what we have discussed, how we call it, using for loop. For values in events, print values. Can you see? Just a minute, just a minute. Events, opening brace, closing brace. Is it a generator? So basically, अगर आप check करोगे, please, बहुत interesting concept है ये. If you compare this code with this code, what exactly yield is doing? What is the difference between this line and this line? What exactly is yield? Is it not this operator? Apart from that, for loop is as it is, if is as it is, and this was a normal function. How you converted this to generator with? So yield is equivalent to, I can say, generator. So either you can create a generator like this in one line. Python people feel very comfortable doing it like this. But if you are a traditional programmer, people go ahead with writing things and yield item. And only when the condition satisfies, then it will generate a call for you. That is the concept of generators. So like this, you can use yield queue. So next time when the call happens, see, first time when events will get called, then range क्या करेगा? Range 1 जाएगा. Item, this itself is a generator. There are two generators. One is your user defined generator. The other one is a built-in generator. So first time when the call happens with for in events range will be 1. 1 will be taken. 1 mod 2 is not 0. So this yield will not happen. If yield will not happen, then it will take 2. Second value is taken. 2 mod 2, condition true, yield will return address of 2, which will be dereferenced here inside values. So you'll get 2. That's it.
Everything what we have inside the collection, that will be get executed, not like written, right?
Not like written. Written will return same.
पहला जो सीक्वेंस आया था उसको एग्जीक्यूट करके वो बाहर जा रहा था.
करेक्ट. और ये अभी ये जब है ये वैल्यूज अगेन इवेंट्स पे जा रहा है ना, अगेन इवेंट्स पे जाएगा तो यू आर अगेन गिविंग अ सेकंड कॉल टू जनरेटर. तो वो इट विल स्टार्ट विद 3, रेंज विल नॉट स्टार्ट विद. तो ये सेम कंसेप्ट है.
It is not a parallel to the next जो हम यूज कर रहे हैं.
हाँ, with next also you can use or with this also you can use.
We have already created जो कुछ जितना भी उसके अंदर और फिर next.
तो यही तो है, आपको सब वैल्यूज नहीं जनरेट करना है तो व्हाट यू विल हैव टू डू, वो दूसरा वाला सिंटैक्स यूज करो.
लिख के स्टोर कर रहा है वैल्यू सारे वो,
एड्रेस रिटर्न कर रहा है वो, एड्रेस ऑफ 2, और उसको डीरेफरेंस हो रहा है.
रिटर्न क्या कर रहा है फिर वैल्यूज,
रिटर्न वैल्यू रिटर्न करता है ना.
ऐड मी हियर.
ऑफ कोर्स एवरीथिंग इज अ ऑब्जेक्ट, एवरीथिंग इज अ ऑब्जेक्ट. रेफरेंस इज व्हाट, अगेन अ ऑब्जेक्ट.
समझा नहीं, कल देखते.
Print, just say print next of ref equal to events, opening brace, closing brace. See, only 2 are.
फंक्शनच्या
नेक्स्ट टाइम हम नेक्स्ट बोलते हैं. नेक्स्ट टाइम हम जब नेक्स्ट बोलेंगे, नेक्स्ट सी 4 6. तो अनलाइक फॉर लूप आप क्या कर रहे हो, हर बार व्हेन यू जनरेट अ कॉल टू, तो यील्ड, वो यील्ड करेगा. तब तक यील्ड नहीं करेगा और नेक्स्ट इटरेशन चालू ही नहीं होगा. नेक्स्ट इटरेशन इफ यू वांट टू स्टार्ट इट, देन you have to say next. Only then the computation will happen. It will resume the program from where it was left.
देन जो ऊपर का जो आपने सिंटैक्स बताया था, मतलब जिसमें, तो वहां पे वो ऑटोमेटिकली प्रोसेस करता है क्या?
ऊपर पे इन द सेंस ये ना, ये
हाँ, द
Comment here.
यस
सेम है, दोनों सेम है. मैं बोल रहा हूँ yield is, I'll make a note here. Note, either you can use the first syntax. So this is, this creates a generator, and if you want function to be converted to a generator, Then use yield. That's it. So we'll revisit this, don't worry. Anyways, we'll close for the day then. Tomorrow we'll also see some useful modules and we'll see .py files, how to import .py files, how to get the documentation, how to rate your, there are linters which will rate your code according to your PEP 8 guidelines. To write things and how to, most important, how to install third-party module in pip installer. Thank you so much for your patience. I hope so I'm not
फील्ड वाले और कल देखते हैं फंक्शन में डर फंक्शन
any functions. But then if you talk about how to create user defined, we'll see lambdas, we'll see decorators. Okay, lambdas, we didn't use it.